That's for the driver and the passenger to make you feel more comfortable that the car is driving itself. It parked us the second closest parking space to the entrance you could get. Tommy, if you listen to your friends and experts in the media, they'll all say a car will take maybe 10, 20, or 30 years before it can drive itself, and yet
this Tesla has been doing it all by itself for the past 6 months. So in today's video, we're going over the top 5 things you need to know about living with Tesla full self-driving.
Yeah, who would have thunk that cars can drive themselves right now? Tommy, we've had this 2026 Tesla Model Y now for 6 months, and we've put on 6,434 miles.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
And what version of the software are we running?
This is 14.3.3. It's the latest one currently available as of filming, although there is an update coming soon, I've heard.
Yeah, and so we're going to be talking about the top 5 things that we've learned over the last 6 months. And I think at number 5, it has got to be that this still makes mistakes.
It is an incredible piece of technology, but it's not perfect. So what we're doing right now is we're navigating to our offices, completely hands-free. Super easy to use the system. You plug it into the navigation, and then you basically just sit there and monitor it. You don't touch any of the stocks, you don't touch the wheel, you don't touch the pedals. So it's going to make a left turn here on Sterling Circle. You'll notice it is following all the laws. It's going to come to a very complete stop.
That's because I'm in standard.
Even in the fast ones, it does now. And what we're going to do is we're going to travel along this road. It sees the parked car. It's doing a great job of passing the parked car. It's monitoring the surroundings. You know, it saw that Camaro that was going to pull out. Okay, we're coming up to our offices, and
it's signaling left like it should, and it's pulling into our office, but there's a problem.
It's going through the do not enter one way.
Yeah, and this is problematic because there could be a truck coming around this corner or another car, and we could have a potential accident. So I've got my foot close to the brake, and this time we got lucky. Let's see how it does parking.
So it does really good monitoring road laws when they are on very established streets. But sometimes when you leave those established streets, or you're pulling into a parking lot or private property and there's one-way signs like that, it does definitely struggle.
You know what else it does really good? Like putting itself perfectly in between the lines.
Oh yeah, it's amazing. And it's so amazing, especially when compared to a lot of the competition. That's number 4.
When it comes to full self-driving, supervised, Tommy, Tesla is way ahead of the competition.
And the big deal about this car is it's point to point. So here in this parking lot, I can put in any destination in navigation and the car will figure it out from point to point.
Yeah, GM has Super Cruise, which works on the highway and some designated roads. Ford has Blue Cruise, which kind of does the same thing. Every manufacturer has some form of lane keep and autonomous driving, but none of them, except for Nissan, have put it all together so that the car goes point to point. And in fact, I got to try Nissan's new Pro Pilot system in Japan. Now, that's the good news. It works in downtown Tokyo. The bad news, of course, is it's not available yet. Tell me about the system, and can you tell me what makes it special?
This system is a combination between the most recent physical AI technology and the most recent vehicle control technologies. It's just like a brain changed to most recent AI, and the body is a most trained Nissan body.
So Nissan will be rolling this out in Japan next year?
Yes.
In the El Grande?
Yes.
And then afterwards, hopefully in the rest of the country, including America.
Yes.
You also use radar.
Yes, radar. Radar is for emergency braking system for just ensure the availability of that function. We install the existing emergency brake system in parallel to this AI system.
Now there's other companies working really aggressively on this, like Rivian. We've heard some about their autonomous technology, but Tesla, currently as of filming this video, is I think the only car in Colorado where we're filming where I can say go home and it'll drive me home.
Yeah, Rivian promises it by the end of the year, but we'll see.
The number 3 thing I think we've learned while using the system is for the first 20 minutes, the driver is very wary of the system. The second 20 minutes, they look kind of bored, and the third 20 minutes,
they're checking their phone.
Yeah, they're trying to text. Exactly right. So it's crazy. We've had a lot of people experience this system over the past few months, and even the most skeptical, afraid, I'm never going to use this kind of person, immediately, almost immediately within the first hour, comes to trust it.
Yeah, but the problem there, Tommy, is that it makes driving boring because this is still level 2. And technically, I'm supposed to be monitoring the system, keeping my eyes on the road, and doing everything that I would normally be doing while holding the steering wheel and pressing the accelerator or working the brake. But what ends up happening is that you learn to trust it too much and you become complacent, and then you become tired, and then you become bored, and then it makes driving, well, no fun.
Yeah, but I think
because you're not driving, you're just sitting here.
For a lot of people, especially if you're not a car person, a lot of folks don't like driving to begin with when they're manually steering and manually hitting the brakes, right? And I think that this makes driving better for a lot of people because they can kind of sort of just shut their brain off.
But you're not supposed to do that.
I know, but people do. And the fact of the matter from my experience is I know you're still responsible for what happens with the car, but the system is so good that there's, even in the past few thousand miles, I haven't had one instance, except for pulling into parking lots like we experienced earlier, where the system hasn't worked flawlessly, right?
Yeah, but if it, let's say there's only 0.00001% of the time where it doesn't work correctly. The problem is that you're still at level 2, according to Tesla.
For sure.
You're still responsible for it.
Yeah.
And let's say you run over a bicyclist or a pedestrian, God help you, or the car does something that is extremely dangerous. If you're sitting here complacent or bored or checking your text, you're putting other drivers in danger.
Definitely.
And that's where I think we need to get to level 3, where you can actually turn off your brain, because this is what my brain wants to do now, and let the car do it. And until we cross that mighty threshold from level 2 to level 3, where the car becomes responsible, in other words, the manufacturer becomes responsible, we're in this weird no man's land where I think it can be, well, deceiving on how good the system is,
right,
until it isn't.
Yes, that's true. And that's always in the back of your head, and it should be the until it isn't. But I think, and this is my fault for thinking it, for sure, but I just, like, even in the past, how many thousands of miles have we experienced this thing? 4,535.8 self-driving miles. That until it isn't hasn't come at all in 4,500 miles, right? So I know it's always a potential, and, like, you're right, the 100% that the driver still has to be responsible, but I've come to trust the system so much that, like, it is easy to kind of just turn your brain off and let it happen, because if nothing has happened in 4,500 miles, maybe there's this false fallacy that it can't happen in 45,000 and 4,501 mile, right?
Yeah, the flip side of that coin is I firmly believe that computers, AI, is better at driving than I am, right? It doesn't get tired, it doesn't get angry, it doesn't get drunk, it doesn't get distracted. It has a camera in the back of its head, which I don't, and so that's why I think that the car actually is better than human, or a human, than, or at least this human, than I am. The problem, of course, comes in when it isn't.
I wouldn't say that it's better than you are, because there are still some evasive highway maneuvers I would trust you to do instead of the car. But for a lot of just everyday driving situations, I do think it is pretty awesome.
Tommy, once upon a time, full self-driving used to cost like $12,000 for the life of the car or you, and then it went to $8,000. But now you can only get it for $99 per month. And number 2 is it worth it?
Yeah, I mean, it's absolutely amazing technology, and it is a little bit of a bummer that, you know, you're gonna have an additional payment on top of an already fairly expensive car payment. But I think if you're someone that doesn't love driving, or you live in LA and there's a lot of traffic, for $99 a month, it's an amazing value.
Yeah, I mean, how many Ubers or how many taxi cab rides could you get for $99? And the answer is, depending on where you live, not a heck of a lot. And if you're, let's say, elderly and you need something to help you get around, this is one hell of a bargain. So I think $99 is the best subscription for an automobile you can buy. Forget heated seats, forget extra horsepower. $99, the car drives itself. Tommy, we have worked our way down to number 1. And what is it?
Well, the best use of FSD is in traffic and also on the highway, but specifically traffic. It works really well, and it just takes a lot of the annoyance out of driving away from driving.
Yeah, I mean, there's a simpler way to put that, right? Look at that, an ocean.
Oh, Fisker Ocean, wow.
That's
a rare car.
That is a rare bird, yeah. I'll put it a simpler way. It's best when you don't like to drive. So long highway trips, let's face it, on an interstate, they're just straight and narrow and boring, and there's not a lot to see. So why not have the car drive itself? Or right now we're coming into downtown Boulder and you start to get into traffic and it gets very stressful. A lot of things are happening, and this is where FSD Supervise shines.
100%, yeah. Stoplight to stoplight, just sitting in the grind of everyday life. I think that this is a very, very good system. And, you know, it's got pretty good situational awareness, I find, too. Like, it always seems like it has a good sense of what's going on around the car. So I like to use it on these kind of roads. I mean, it will work like on a nice mountain pass as well, but that's when driving is fun, so why not drive during those sections?
Yeah, I mean, look, this is a very busy intersection. There's a lot happening here. And normally, if I were driving this myself, I'd be sitting here, foot on the brake. Well, with the Tesla, you don't have to do that. But in an internal combustion engine car, I'd be making sure that I'm not going to run over the cyclist that's going by or that pedestrian. And the car's kind of doing all that for me right now. And it makes, you know, these kinds of urban situations much less stressful, so that you arrive at work or at school or at play, wherever you're going, much more relaxed.
The only thing which is a little bit frustrating about dealing with this in the city is I'm kind of like a homing pigeon, and I have the same two routes I like to take to lunch and to the grocery store. And sometimes the FSD system has a better route, and then I'm like, why are we going this way? And there's not really an easy way to change that. But that's just because I'm on the spectrum, and I think it's a little silly.
Will you shoot the screen? So I was talking to, I'm not going to say who, but it was an automotive engineer in the field, and you can see how the system visualizes all the cars, the stoplights, everything that's going on here. Why do you think that is, Tommy?
I don't know. Why is that?
Well, the notion that most people might answer is because that's what the car sees, so it's using all that information to be able to drive itself. The answer is that's for the driver and the passenger to make you feel more comfortable that the car is driving itself. So that visualization is not for the car, it's for us.
I just had some friends in this thing last weekend, though, and both of them were a little creeped out by all ghost cars. They wish that they were colors instead of just these kind of amorphous blobs. It felt a little post-apocalyptic, but I guess it does make me feel a little better.
Yeah, anyway, apparently that's very hard to do, and especially in real time, and that is supposed to give us comfort that the car knows what it's doing, that it's situationally aware, right? That was a word you used, so that's the word I will use, but it's not for the car, it's for us.
Very cool. Now we are navigating to the most difficult driving event on the planet.
Which is a Trader Joe's parking lot.
This is harder than F1 at Monaco. The Trader Joe's parking lot, regardless of where you are in the United States, is the worst place in the world to drive. And I'm curious to see if FSD can actually take us there and park. Yeah,
we're in as much of an urban situation as we can be here in Boulder. So we're at the mall, where there is not only a supercharger, not only a parking lot, only a Target, not only kind of restaurants, but also a Trader Joe's, and that Trader Joe's is always busy. So let's see how it does parking itself, because oftentimes you can't park in the Trader Joe's.
So we're coming to a four-way stop here. And one thing I will notice about this Tesla, or say about this Tesla, is it does come to a full and complete stop, almost a little bit too long. So sometimes I take over at stop signs because it's just a little too cautious, and sometimes it actually makes the other drivers nervous on not knowing what you're doing.
This time, I think it's going to do okay.
Oh, that was good.
Yeah, the weird situation is like when the other driver motions you to go and you're like, hey.
Yeah.
But you can use the accelerator pedal to prod it forward.
All right, here we go.
Into the Trader Joe's parking lot. Let's see how it does.
And it's under construction too. So as if the parking lot wasn't bad enough, so we got a guy doing some jaywalking here. We've got a tight turn next to an Audi.
We got a speed bump.
There it goes. A lot of pedestrians.
A lot of cars. A lot of pedestrians.
Yeah, this is where my will to drive goes to die. Okay, so let's see if it parks where we need it to park. Apparently in the upcoming update, you can be much more picky on where the car parks, is what I was reading.
Do not enter, but so far it seems to be doing okay.
Yeah, that's good. That didn't break the law.
No.
Let's see, where is it going? Okay.
Look, it parked as if. It parked us the second closest parking space to the entrance you could get.
Pretty awesome.
I gotta say I'm impressed, Tommy. That was pretty awesome.
Now I'd like to see it at 5 p.m. instead of 1:30 on a Monday, but even still, that was very good.
Tommy, it's amazing that how many people, automotive journalists, don't know just how good full self-driving is. Now, we've owned every Tesla except for the Roadster, over the last 10 years. And over the last 2 years, because of AI, full self-driving has come such a long way.
It really is an incredible piece of technology that has become so confidence inspiring when it just simply wasn't a couple years ago. So it's very, very cool, and I recommend, if you've never experienced it, go do that little rent a Tesla thing that they do at the stores to rent a Tesla.
Or Turo.
Test drive a Tesla and see what that's like, because it's really, really good.
And I think we're on the verge of a full self-driving revolution, because if Tesla can do it, then Rivian can do it, then Lucid can do it, then GM and Ford can do it. And I think with the legacy manufacturer, the issue is that they're just a little bit too gun shy, because they've got a team of attorneys saying, guys, this is crazy. Because if the car does something that is dangerous, you're going to get your butt suit off. But Tesla doesn't seem to worry about that as much.
Yeah, and guys, let us know what you think of your experience with FSD. It's been amazing over the past 6 months, and we'll continue to use it.
See you next time. Ciao.